All right, hey everyone, good to see you again. Thanks for checking the channel out, checking this video out. Really do appreciate it. Again, if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. A lot of good content, I think, that I'm adding on a weekly basis here, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. That's the main thing. So we're gonna go back into the 80s a little bit here with Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Great tune. I think most of you know this one. Also was part of the soundtrack for the movie Real Genius back in, I guess it was like 83, if I had to guess, right around that time, maybe a little bit later than that, 84. But great tune. Going to walk you through how we play it. Some basic chords. One of maybe you're not too familiar with, that main right there. It's kind of that main chord that you're using for the tone there, for that sound. But we'll get into that. I'll show you step by step how I play it, how I do it. Even the little riff here, we'll do all of that as well. Straightforward, but you don't have to if you don't want to. We'll do just the chords. Again, I really do appreciate you checking this channel out. Let's jump right in and I'll show you how to play it. All right, so let's get right into this one. Great song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. A lot of people know this tune, so hopefully if I can help you out, learn how to play that, you can pull this one out during the campfires or those get-togethers. That'll be pretty cool, right? So it starts off, if you want to do the riff. If not, you can kind of go right into it, all right? But the riff is just a couple notes, and the main positioning of the riff is on the 11th fret G string, which I have fingered here, and then it is the 10th fret of the B string. You can almost hear it already, okay? So what I do is I slide into that position. So that first note is going to be, I guess it's the, technically a G flat, I guess. But that's what we're going in, just that two-note chord basically right there. So it's going to be G string, 11th fret, and then it's going to be B string, 10th fret. So just practice that if you're not familiar with that kind of, shape. And I'm just going back and forth between the strings. Now what makes that riff noticeable is that this finger here, the middle finger on the 11th fret on the G string, doesn't move. This finger on the 10th fret of the B string doesn't move either. These are anchored in there. But you're going to have your pinky or your ring finger, depending on what you're more comfortable with, going from on and off of the 12th fret on the B string. Right? So now, and I think the other thing to remember is I'm pretty sure that how I'm playing this in terms of this key right here isn't quite in the same key as the album. I feel like it's like a half step, like not even a half step, like a quarter step off. But this is how I've played it. But for the most part, it's right there. So that riff is only on two strings, the G string and the B string, 11th fret on the G, 10th fret on the B, and then you're using your pinky or your middle or your ring finger just to alternate between the 10th fret and the 12th fret of the B string. And then you slide right out of it into the main intro, I guess. And that's just two chords. This here, you may not be familiar with this chord. It is a D major 7. Really, what does that really mean? I mean, it's just that you're taking a D chord. And if you could, you're just taking this finger here and you're moving it to the 2nd fret. I just think it's easier to bar it. That's just how I do it. So I've got the open the open D, and then I'm barring down on the 2nd fret, the G, the B, and the high E string. Right to a D. And again, make this your own, but I'm going from the D major 7 to a G. And I know there's different ways to play the G. Sometimes we play it this way with the open B, or this way with just two fingers fretted. I think for this tune, the best sounding G chord is the full G. Every string being used, 3rd fret of the low E string, 2nd fret of the B string, or excuse me, let's try that again. The 3rd fret on the low E, 2nd fret on the A, D and G open, and then on the 3rd fret the B and the high E. Right? And then all I'm doing for the strumming, just kind of giving it some percussion. Now the good thing and maybe the bad thing about this song too, by doing that, you can drag that out as long as you want. So that's either a good thing if you need to kind of just fill some time, or it could be a bad thing because you are filling time. So and that's what you're doing for the for the intro and for the verse as well. Now you're going to go into the pre-chorus and kind of the chorus at the same time. Pre-chorus, at least I call it the pre-chorus, is your E minor, an F sharp minor, your G, and back to that F sharp minor. Okay, so let's do it again. And then from there you're going to the chorus. Everybody wants to rule it. Same 3 chords to start it off with. The only difference is instead of going back to the F sharp minor, we're going to the A. And the chorus itself is played, I guess, twice as fast as the pre-chorus. So let's watch again. What I'm doing there is I tend to bar the A chord, because what it's doing is it's putting me in the exact same position I need to be basically for that D major 7th. I just roll my fingers down so that way the D string is now open. Okay, because remember that D string is the characteristic point. So if I just did an A, it's not terrible, but that open D is what you're looking for. Okay. So again, we've got the intro, you know, as far as the riff. Right? And pre-chorus. Okay, and then from there, there's only one other piece of the song to learn. I guess it's the bridge, but they play it a couple times. Okay, so it's coming out, I think it's the 2nd chorus. So all that is simple. All the chords you pretty much have played already. The G, instead of a D major 7, just a D, and we're back to the A. And the first time around, you're going to play that progression 3 times. And then from there goes back into the pre-chorus. And then if you want, depending on how you're doing this, if you've got a second guitar player, if you're I've done it through a looper before, you could actually loop this or have some second guitar player, right? And then you're just kind of jamming a little bit. So all you're... I tended, what I used to do, I would just take this riff, right, and I just build upon it. Whoop. So, I mean, again, it's the key of D. if you're playing something, D major scale, or, something that D major pattern, you're fine. And that's really the entire song. We've gone over all the parts, all the pieces. What I do advise you, though, is listen to the song. I know you probably say, hey, I know it, no big deal. This song goes through a lot of different changes using those pieces we just went through. The intro, the verse. It's one thing to know the song, but you've got to know where it's all coming in, because it goes from the pre-chorus to the chorus to the bridge, back to the chorus, back to the pre-chorus. Just listen to the tune. That'll help you out big time in terms of just getting a feel for the song itself. So hopefully this helped you out. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video.